Yes.
Hello?
Oh, Jeff? Jeff, is that you?
What's going on there? Some kind of party?
Oh, Jeff, help me, please.
Jean? Jeannie?
Oh, please, Jeff.
I only wish I were there to witness it. I rather think it's done the trick.
No springs? No wires? I can't see how it was done. When did you say you had to break it?
I didn't. I said I'd lost my door key.
Well, lost or stolen is the same thing.
Is it? Well, I think it was for real, Jeff.
You think? You mean this was a poltergeist?
No, not exactly. I've had time to think about this.
And?
Well, I've had this feeling for some time now.
What feeling?
Well, that Marty's trying to contact me.
Marty?
Yes? Hello? Jeannie's dropping behind in her housework.
You mean you think Marty did all this?
Oh, I'm certain of it.
What? I didn't. Tell her, Jeff. Tell her she's wrong.
You're wrong.
Well, how can you be sure?
How can I be sure?
Because I was never violent, that's why.
Marty was never violent. You know that, Jeannie.
But how can we know what the situation is wherever he is?
And another thing, Jeff. What are you doing in pyjamas in my flat with my wife?
We'll discuss that later. Jeannie, let's clean up.
Jeannie's late.
Well, after all the excitement last night, I'm not surprised. Do you think it really was a poltergeist?
Don't ask me. I keep very clear of that sort of thing.
Yeah, but do they really exist?
I don't know. I'm skeptical myself. Answer the phone, Jeff.
Eh? Randall and Hopkirk.
Jeff?
Hello, Jeannie. I was just worrying about you.
I'm sorry, I'll be a little late this morning.
Not more trouble from your poltergeist.
I'll explain when I get there. Visitors. Yeah, bye. Well, you were telling me your problem, Mr. Foster.
Indeed, I was saying that in our business we do need a very thorough check to be made on all our clients.
Your experience in detective agency work would be most valuable.
Will you work for us, Mrs. Hopkirk?
I'm really very flattered, gentlemen. I'd love to say yes on the spot, but I do have a partner. I must speak with him.
If money is a consideration, Mrs. Hopkirk.
Well, with Jeff, it certainly would be.
We'd be willing to pay, most generously,
Will you promise?
Promise.
that you'll speak to your partner by tonight.
It is urgent, Mrs. Hopkirk.
I promise. Right away. Jeff? Lunch.
Final rinse. It's like old times, Jeff. Do you remember before I was married? Wash day, bringing our laundry in here. Warm in the winter, cool in the summer. Sandwiches.
How long ago was that, Marty?
Must be 6 or 7 years ago.
Exactly. I'm still doing the same. What kind of progress is that?
Oh, you get very philosophical in my condition, Jeff. I mean, money, fame, these things don't matter anymore. Even time is only of relative importance. I mean, 6 or 7 years ago, what difference does it make?
A lot of difference when I still haven't got 2 pennies to rub together.
Good morning.
Morning.
Here's Jeannie.
Hey, Jeannie.
The managing director of Randall and Hopkirk Limited takes a night lunch in the laundromat.
Well, I'm a bachelor. How else am I supposed to handle my laundry?
You know very well what I'm talking about. It's finished.
What are you talking about, Jeannie?
The business, Jeff. Our business.
It's ticking over.
After 6 years, and you're still taking lunch in the laundromat.
Well, what do you suggest?
2 brothers, Henry and George Foster. A little eccentric, but harmless. And rich.
Spiritualists, you said.
Yes, but, well, they've got a different approach, a more scientific one.
And they've offered you a job.
Yes.
Well, what do they want you to do?
Well, check out anybody who applies. I don't know exactly. But they'll pay.
Between 75 and 100 a throw.
Yeah. Well?
I don't know, Jeannie. There must be a catch somewhere. Spiritualism's a phony business. Why don't you stick with what you know?
To what I know? What, lunch breaks in laundromats, £10 divorce cases? It's all work, no pay.
Business can pay. We just need something of a break.
Oh, Jeff, after 6 years, you're still looking for a break?
So you want to leave the business?
Oh, Jeff, I'll be doing you a favor. Look, it's as much as you can do to make a living for yourself.
Let it ride, Jeannie. We don't have to make our minds up right away.
Well, I told them that I'd give them my answer tonight.
The simplest way to find out if their outfit's on the level is to go and see for yourself. For who to see for himself? You! Oh. I don't like it, Marty. It doesn't feel right. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't responsible for that poltergeist thing. Or in my place? Yeah. But why? They're spiritualists. They're playing on Jeannie because they know about you. What, being a ghost? No, being dead. Jeannie works for them because they've convinced her that they can get in touch with you. Well, I haven't heard anything. And why should they go to all this trouble to get Jeannie to work for them? Well, that's what we've got to go and find out, Marty. That's why you've got to go there. If they're genuine spiritualists, they won't fool you. I don't like mixing in this sort of thing, Jeff. You never know where it's all going to end up. Look, if they're giving Jeannie a demonstration, who's she going to try and contact? Me, I guess. Right. So you ought to drop in. Even if only common courtesy. I suppose you could be right. Excuse me. Jeannie. Go home. Jeannie. Look, Jeannie, let's be sensible about it. We can come back tomorrow when it's light. Jeannie!
We are not alone in this room, Mrs. Hopkirk. There is a third spirit.
Hey?
The spirit of your husband is here. He's standing right beside you.
Oh, I'm not. I'm over here. He's making it up, Jeannie.
Go on.
I have a message from your husband.
I've got a message, all right. I don't trust him.
Oh, what is the message, Mr. Foster?
Yes, go on. Go on, tell her. Tell her I don't trust you.
A turbulent spirit. Disturbed. Restless.
Rubbish.
In turmoil, Mrs. Hopkirk. Trying, striving to get his message through. Don't be afraid, Mrs. Hopkirk. We won't let the destructiveness or the perturbation stop us.
Come on, Jeannie.
We will help him to communicate. We will help him to find a way.
It's a bad business, Jeff.
Yeah. Are you sure they're phonies?
Positive.
But Henry knew you were standing in that room.
It was guesswork.
Well, you're the expert.
So, what do we do?
Well, somehow we've got to stop Jeannie tying in with his foster brothers.
Right, but how?
See, Jeannie thinks she's doing me a favor. They've offered her this job with good money, and I can't order her to turn it down.
Yeah, I know Jeannie. Try giving her orders, and that makes her all the more determined.
Yeah.
She won't admit that she's wrong.
You say their place scared you?
Well, not scared. I was slightly nervous. I really thought Jeannie would run out.
They've really got her hooked on this contacting you bit. The night the poltergeist visited your place, she told me she felt you wanted to contact her.
And now they've moved in on it.
Or set it up. For reasons we don't know.
That's the problem.
The only way I can see Jeannie turning her back on them is if we suddenly come up with a lot of work.
So, let's prove to her that our business pays off.
Yeah, I'm sorry to pull the rug out from under you, Marty, but it doesn't.
What would you say, Jeff, if just this once we made it pay?
Eh? Laura? Anyone home? You didn't answer.
If you want an answer, you have to announce yourself specifically.
Specifically.
Specifically. Like, I am not a bailiff, or, please, I'd like to come in.
How about I have in my pocket an unopened bottle of vodka and please...
Say no more. Jeff Randall, where have you been all this time?
hanging about, darling. Present for you.
You're a darling. You do know I've given it up.
About time, too.
Yes, these days I just use it for brushing my teeth. Oh, up to standard.
Should be. Cost enough.
You want me to do you a favor, huh?
No?
Jeff? I never call a man a liar with the taste of his liquor still on my lips.
But?
You're a liar.
Well, as a matter of fact, there is something you can do for me.
I knew it.
You're an actress, right?
Oh, you wouldn't say that if you'd read my notices. You couldn't have done that. I haven't worked in months.
You want the job or don't you?
Is there a fee?
£25?
I want it.
I won't tell your agent. You play the part of a rich widow looking for her long-lost son.
Sounds pretty corny. Go on.
It'll run. For this, you need a detective agency. Mine. And you're willing to pay money. Big money. £250.
Not a bad storyline, Jeff. Have you got a theatre booked?
The stage is here.
Oh.
And we open when Mrs. Jean Hopkirk comes to visit you this afternoon.
Supposing she asks for the fee.
Don't worry about a thing. Leave it all to me. Cheers.
Salute.
Yes?
Good morning.
That's not stolen goods you got down there, is it?
Stolen goods?
Well, I'm in the pledge business. I'm no friend, so if that stuff's hot, you better clear off. Oh, I take it all back. Nobody could have nicked this lot. How much were you wanting?
Well, I'm trying to raise 250. I thought this lot, 50. Well, this clock alone's worth 50. 40 then. 30?
No.
20? Well, how much then? 10?
I think we've got a bit of a technical problem here.
Technical problem?
Yeah, we're not actually registered as a charity. We're not allowed to give money away.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Your help has been appreciated.
Most appreciated.
Look at that. After 6 years in the business, my total cash position as supplied by the bank.
£27?
Overdrawn.
How did you make out at the pawnbrokers?
Pawnbrokers, old friends, bad debts. Nobody wants you when you're down and out.
Well, you should have come to me. I could have told you.
Tell me what?
How to raise money at the pawnbrokers. For instance, television set.
Rented.
Oh. Antiques.
What antiques?
Well, they're very big on carpets and curtains and bedding and blankets and sheets and things like that.
I'm not pawning that lot to pay ourselves back.
You're not?
Certainly not.
Well, that appears to be everything, Mrs. Hopkirk.
It was good of you to come down today.
Not at all.
And don't forget, we will pay £75.
£100 if you introduce the client yourself.
Provided that they meet all our requirements.
You do understand that I haven't definitely accepted the offer.
Oh, but you will, Mrs. Hopkirk. You will.
Remember, if you join us, we shall almost certainly contact Mr. Hopkirk for you.
He has, without a doubt, been trying to get through.
Gentlemen, I shall think it over. Goodbye.
Au revoir, Mrs. Hopkirk.
You didn't tell her everything, Henry.
No, George, I didn't. I thought it wiser to wait.
Until she reaches her decision.
Until she joins us. You see, it wouldn't do for her to talk to anyone about our plans.
Yes, Henry, you're probably right.
I know I am, George.
And what's happened to the carpet?
Well, they've got to be cleaned sometime.
And the curtains?
Well, you know what they say, in for a penny, hung for a sheep.
Looks like you're in for a cold winter, too. Send the blankets to the cleaners as well.
Yeah, well, why not? Look, Jeannie, will you see this, Mrs. Laura Watson? It's going to be a big fee, I know it is.
Look, Jeff, it isn't just for my sake that I should take the foster job. Well, it'd give you more steady money. And no more lunches at the laundromat.
And what if they turn out to be phonies?
Look, I'll make a bargain with you. I'll see her. If it doesn't work out, I join the Foster Brothers. A deal?
A deal, Mrs. Hopkirk.
Well, how's it going, Jeff?
Well, it seems to be okay. Jeannie's been up there over an hour.
An hour? I didn't know Laura Watson could last out so long.
And when did you last see your son, Mrs. Watson?
My son? Oh, my son. Well, let's say about 2 years ago.
2 years. And where was that?
In New York.
New York.
Or was that my father?
Your father?
He died in New York a few years ago. He was a lovely, fabulous man. You would have liked him. Oh, I wish he were here now.
Mrs. Watson, the project we're discussing is your son.
Oh, yes, of course, dear.
And perhaps I should tell you that if we have to go abroad to make inquiries, the fee will naturally be a little higher.
Oh, of course. But I don't think the mere money should come between a mother and her son. Do you, dear?
There she is. I'd better get back to the office. She's supposed to be handling this one herself. Ah, there you are. How did it go?
Fine.
Good fee?
How much do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Family's got money, she's rich.
And devoted to her son.
Well, couldn't be less than 200, maybe even 250.
You know, Jeff, you really are the most ridiculous optimist. This was going to be a big job. Good fee, everything. Do you know how much I got?
Tell me.
£25.
What?
And she's not that interested in her son. In fact, she seems much more concerned about her father.
Her father?
Mm-hmm.
But he's dead.
She said she had some money.
She did.
She thought she'd like to get in touch with him. Well, it seemed to be my first opportunity to earn some commission, so I put her in touch with the Foster Brothers. Well, I mean, if she's going to throw her money away trying to make contact, I thought that I might as well just... Jeff?
She's gone. And your money with her.
How?
Yes, I know you will, if you can find her.
Oh, I'll find her all right.
You know where she's gone?
Yeah, Jeannie put her under the Fosters.
What, George and Henry?
Right. Let's get after her before she spends all my money.
Come in. Please come in, Mrs.
Watson. Laura Watson.
Yes, yes, of course. Now, you say that Mrs. Hopkirk sent you to see us.
Yes, it seems such a good idea, but now that I'm here, I'm sure I'm wasting your time.
Oh, not at all. Do sit down.
After all, we have plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Now, just tell us your problem.
Well, there's no problem, really.
But surely Mrs. Hopkirk must have sent you here for some specific reason.
Well, I did tell her that I wanted to contact my father.
Ah, her father, George.
He's passed on?
Yes, in New York.
Does your husband approve of your coming to see us, Mrs. Watson?
Which husband?
She's all alone, Henry.
All alone in the world, George. With nobody to look after.
Look, really, it's not quite as bad as that.
Oh, please, Mrs. Watson. You don't need to explain. We understand.
We quite understand.
Well, I think I should be going now.
Oh, no, please, do stay. I'm sure we can help you.
To reach the other side. George?
We won't keep you a moment.
I think we underestimated Mrs. Hopkirk, George.
Yes, Henry. She is sent as a client. She meets our requirements exactly.
I think Mrs. Hopkirk must have realized all the time what our intended plan was.
We were too cautious, Henry.
My dear Mrs. Watson.
Our very own future spirit.
What do you gentlemen mean? Future spirit?
You, Mrs. Watson. You.
You see, we have tried for years to make contact with those on the other side.
Years of failure, Henry.
Yes, indeed, failure. But then we thought of our plan.
Your plan?
So simple as to be perfect. Why, we asked ourselves, had we failed?
Because those dear departed never knew, you see.
Knew? Knew what?
That we were trying to contact them.
But you will, Mrs. Watson. You will.
I will. I will what?
Well, you will know that we are trying to contact you because we are telling you now.
So, after you've passed over, you'll come back?
Passed over? Look, gentlemen, this has gone far enough. I need a drink.
Pour Mrs. Watson a sherry, George.
Certainly, Henry.
And after that, I shall be leaving.
Oh, but we are quite serious, Mrs. Watson.
Oh, but of course we are.
You see, nobody will miss you.
And nobody knows that you're here.
That's where you're wrong. I told Mrs. Hopkirk.
Mrs. Hopkirk? But she is working for us. She will know how to explain away your disappearance.
And in return,
Apart from the financial remuneration,
you will contact her husband, Mr. Hopkirk.
and bring him here to see her.
An admirable arrangement, Henry.
And one that Mrs. Hopkirk can hardly refuse, George. You see, it's a most complete plan.
Which we have worked out to perfection. Except for one small detail.
Yes. How to arrange for Mrs. Watson's journey.
Do you have a preference?
Preference? Look, gentlemen, I'm leaving now.
I'm afraid there's no escape, Mrs. Watson.
Henry?
It would be so much easier, Mrs. Watson, if you would agree to cooperate. She's trying to escape, George.
Well, we know she can't do that, Henry.
Come on, come on.
This is George. I'll see what Brother Henry's up to.
Yes, can I help you?
I'm looking for Mrs. Watson, Laura Watson. I believe she came here earlier this evening.
Yes, she did, but she's gone. She left just after nightfall. And who, may I ask?
Who am I? Randall, Jeff Randall.
Oh, Mr. Randall.
Of Randall and Hopkirk. I believe you've already met my late partner's wife.
Yes, yes, that is so. But she isn't here now.
No, but Mrs. Watson.
Mrs. Watson?
Mrs. Laura Watson.
Quite. As I said, Mr. Randall, she was here, but she left. You can search the house if you like.
You've killed her. You've murdered Laura Watson. Where are you going? Come on, they've killed her.
Laura? You're out of your mind. He told me she'd been here and left.
I'd like to know what she was wearing. I saw the other one, Henry, burning some clothes.
That fellow, what's his name? George. He said I could search the house.
He was bluffing. He knew if he offered, you wouldn't do it. What kind of car did Laura drive?
The red special sports, why?
They've got it there. Henry hid it in one of the outbuildings.
You sure?
Well, let's check before I phone the police. We'd better go back.
It's in there, Jeff. Jeff?
Wait a minute, Marty.
Jeff!
Just a minute, Marty. This thing's locked.
Indeed it is, Mr. Randall, yes.
I tried to warn you, Jeff.
That thing doesn't go, does it?
I think it might. Let's try, shall we?
Oh?
So this is where it all happens.
That's right, Mr. Randall.
And where is brother George?
On the telephone. To Mrs. Hopkirk.
Hello?
Mrs. Hopkirk, this is George Foster. We've someone here we'd like you to interview.
Don't come, Jeannie, don't come.
Now? At this time of night?
Quite right, Jeannie, quite right. Don't go, don't go.
Well, I can only say that Henry is very keen.
She is not coming. You can hang up.
In our kind of work, opportunities don't always occur in regular working hours.
Oh, very well then.
Fine. It's all right, Henry. She's on her way here.
Excellent, George. Then all we can do is wait. In the meantime, don't you think we perhaps owe it to Mr. Randall to,
Outline our plans.
Yes.
That'll be nice, wouldn't it, Jeff?
Mr. Randall, please. So you see, Mr. Randall, it's all absurdly simple. George, would you be so kind?
Ah, Mrs. Hopkirk. They're in the library.
Jeff! Jeff, what is it? What's happening?
Your friend and colleague turned up unexpectedly.
It's a long story, Jeannie. Henry's just been outlining his plans.
They'll have to go, Henry.
Yes, George. I'm afraid they will.
Jeff. Randall, Hopkirk, and Hopkirk, all deceased.
Ready, George?
Ready, Henry.
I think this is going to be particularly satisfying.
Just to set the mood.
Jeff, are they going to kill us? How are they going to do it?
I don't know, Jeannie, but I'd say this was just a warm-up.
Jeff, look out!
in trouble.
Thanks a heap.
Jeff, over here, it's much safer.
Where have you been?
The control room. There's not much I can do.
Well, you better think of something now.
Jeff! Jeff!
First rate.
Oh, Jeff!
Jeannie, the sword!
They're putting up a very good fight, George.
Yes. Shall we?
Yes, I think we must.
Now what?
What's up?
Jeannie!
It's all dead. It's all gone.
Yes, but why, George? What happened?
An agency beyond us, Henry.
Now, I suppose Mr. Randall will be getting in touch with the police.
Please?
Goodbye, Mrs. Hopkirk. Mr. Randall?
Perhaps we can try again someday.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. I'll get in my car, Jeff.
Yeah, fine.
Satisfied?
Very. Thanks a lot, Marty.
Hey, was that you? Me? What?
This is the news. Tonight, the whole of southern England was without electricity. So far, the power failure is unaccounted for.
They didn't say that, did they, Jeff?
They did.
You won't tell them, will you?
Who?
Them?
No.
Oh.
thanks, Jeannie. I left my car about 50 yards down the drive.
Jeff, there's someone in your car.
I thought you were dead.
I very nearly was, Jeff. I had to swim for it.
You owe me £225.
I'll give it back to you, Jeff.
When?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow? You don't want to believe everything you've seen in the newspaper, Jeff.
Vanish.
Hmm? What?
Shall we go?
Yeah.